Welcome back to our ongoing coverage from Black Hat 2024. I am Mandy with Security Weekly, and on behalf of Cyber Risk Alliance, I am joined right now by Vivek Bhandari, the Vice President of Product Marketing at Tanium. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Well, very nice to be here, Mandy. Very nice to sort of be on this live show with you.
Oh, good. It's always a little bit exciting, right?
It is, and there's always so many exciting topics to talk about here at Black Hat.
There are, and I'm actually kind of glad that we are zeroing in on discussing AI, but we want to discuss it a little bit differently. We know that through Black Hat in previous years, or say anybody in the industry, we hear a lot about automation, of course, but even more so about generative AI, LLMs. And you and I are going to dive into how can we use those to prevent the next CrowdStrike outage?
Oh, yes. That is a very significant milestone in the history of IT and security world, so absolutely.
Okay, before we get into the nitty-gritty on that, I want to ask a personal question related to this.
Okay.
Now, with your background in you'd work for VMware, right? And for a number of very large, significant players in the field. So, had you been in management and the CrowdStrike outage had happened on your watch, can you give me a little bit of idea of what your response would have been?
Oh my goodness me. I mean, that was nightmare. That was definitely straight nightmare for anybody out there. Especially, you're talking about organizations that had to deal with the outage, right? Like what happened. I mean, I really feel for everyone who had to deal with it. It is absolute worst nightmare for anybody who is right on from the hands-on operators to the highest levels of management. And when you have
and not just for CrowdStrike themselves, but for every single CISO, every single security team,
the organizations
globally
that are using the technology, right, and had to feel or deal with the after effect of that, right, and that's where really the big sort of a impact was with airlines and hospitals and like just millions of people, just having to face all kinds of issues for a number of days, right, and it was I wouldn't certainly want to be in those seats. It was very unfortunate. It was terrible that happened, and I think this is not just a here and now sort of a news. It's going to be in the history books for a long, long time. I mean, you think about, like, if we still talk about Log4j in security events and forums, which was, and you think about when Log4j, the initial vulnerability came out, there wasn't a big fallout from it, right? It wasn't like, oh my goodness me, airlines business shut down or hospitals shut down. It was just a major vulnerability and people were just scrambling to figure out, does it exist in my environment and how do I go and mitigate the risk? But this was way worse, right? This was actually, the blast radius was so massive that it was big. But the most important thing here is, well, it's good it's largely behind us, but it could have happened to any software vendor, and there's just so much learning for us collectively, as an industry, as an organization that's using these technologies, so much learning, right? And I think we will all come out stronger from this experience. And I think that's what we're going to talk about.
Oh, absolutely. And I'd like to jump kind of ahead, because this being such a golden learning opportunity for every type of industry, every type of business that is impacted by security operations or trying to leverage their own security operations to enhance security posture. What do you feel the CrowdStrike outage as a learning case can bring to CISOs who are now going to revisit the business continuity plans?
I mean, I think that's the key thing here is that, when you look at the world that we live in today, we are just an increasingly connected world, right? We have incredible innovations in terms of technology, especially we've been on this digital transformation, as a society for the last 25 years since internet became mainstream. And it feels like, wow, that was so long ago, but it's only in the big scheme of things, it's not been that long. But we've had some incredible innovations come along, the internet, the mobile devices, then the cloud, And then the cloud started changing the game, and then now the applications are modernizing from like the monolithic apps to cloud-based and more sort of micro-segmented apps, microservice-based applications, modern applications. And now with AI, right, it's further accelerated the growth of innovation where people are able to churn out better, faster updates as they roll out those innovations to businesses. So I think really, in addition to how we embrace and use this technology in the environment, for CSOs and CIOs and the boards, it's all about business continuity, right? Revisiting those business continuity plans, having a contingency in place, and doing everything, sort of that you can plan around to make sure that you can, first of all, mitigate and avoid the outages from happening in this scale. But if some things do happen, how do you very quickly recover, right? And get back on as a business?
Absolutely. So if we set aside the hype or marketing around AI, and we go from your viewpoint, what are ways that AI genuinely could help security teams to, first off, not go into a CrowdStrike outage type incident?
Yes. That's a great question. And I think, I'll start with an analogy, right? Okay. The analogy being of I think most people here are familiar with self-driving cars. Like we've had these in the news, all the EV, electric car innovations, but along with that, the self-driving technology. I think some of that had been existing for a while, like the adaptive cruise control, where it could keep the car in lane and it'll adjust based on the car ahead. But now we have cars that can fully navigate from one to the other address. When you think about these cars, if I told you, Brooke, I have a great EV car, it's super luxurious, it's awesome, it can self-drive, and it uses traffic data from just like 2 hours ago to navigate from one place to another, you'd be like, what? It's unfathomable. You can't have a car that's driving using traffic data from few minutes or few hours, let alone a few days ago. It's untenable. You can't. You need the car to be fully aware of the current state of the traffic and the road conditions to be able to safely, reliably navigate. Well, it's same thing comes down to our IT and IT environment. I think that's the big thing here, where AI has existed for a long time, right? Look, we have a lot of great software products that use AI to train models, like a lot of malware detection and anomaly detection. It's been using AI. But I think AI itself has evolved so much, especially with LLMs and Gen AI. But more importantly, when you combine that with real-time data, now you've got magic happening. Now you can really do things in through the systems in a very safe and reliable way, where you need to make changes to your environment, whether you need to apply updates. Now you can use direct visibility into the current state and the impact of the actions you're doing to then inform subsequent actions. And that's powerful. And that's where I think is the magic. And I think this is where we're going to see a lot of innovation come through. We at Tanium certainly have been blazing the trail with our Autonomous Endpoint Management systems, which is really embracing that concept of, we've got great AI. Tanium has a very unique platform, has real-time capabilities on the endpoint. We can do at scale millions of endpoints, ad hoc data analysis. We see impact of actions on the endpoints through a globally connected cloud platform that can inform what does that mean if you try to take the action on another endpoint, the same action, because we see, hey, it was successful here, confidence is very high. If something failed and the system shut down, or very high performance spike or an IO spike, throttle it back down, right? That's the magic. And that's where we are really beginning to push. And I'm seeing even here at Black Hat, a lot of vendors beginning to talk about more automation and bringing AI for really enabling that autonomous capability within their solutions.
Which all of that is so freeing when you think about being able, for me, for any of us, I feel like if we could have AI do our dishes and take care of folding our socks, we'd be happier day to day than we are with just, there's another AI that can, put my voice to a rock song it made up about something I did last week.
Right.
We're not worried about that.
No.
But we are relieved whenever it takes tedious tasks away from us, or things that are extremely important to the viability of our company and being able to go on.
Yeah.
And with the Autonomous Endpoint Management, am I hearing that it is especially well positioned for resiliency overall versus long-term planning for a security team's operations?
Yeah, when you think about the IT environment today, a lot of the bandwidth of our IT and security teams is spent in basically maintaining basic hygiene and the security posture of the environment. And the environments are so dynamic, and they continue to get more dynamic as the IT environment becomes more complex, that the rate and pace of changes you have to do is also increasing. And it's not like the teams are getting, exponential more headcount or budgets. That means we have to find a way to get efficient and yet be reliable. And so this is where resiliency comes into place, right? Where can you do things with systems that allow you to have better resiliency and do things with the power of certainty? That's certainly been our mantra at Tanium with our platform. And I think this is where we are going to sort of continue to lead the industry with our Autonomous Endpoint Management platform as we charge ahead.
Oh, that's beautiful. So what, you brought to mind so many different things. I apologize.
Oh, no worries.
Then if you can make kind of a blanket statement across how you see security teams positioned currently, what countermeasures do you think they should be considering for the future?
Yeah. So I think the first thing is, both for security and IT teams, I'll use them because I think both of these teams are so strategic and important. The security teams are certainly tasked and chartered with maintaining the security of the environment. But when you look back at the incident that happened, that fell more on an IT operations, which is primarily chartered with maintaining uptime, right? And a fully functioning, healthy environment. Now at Tanium, for us, we literally blazed the trail in the industry by not necessarily chasing categories and markets, but we figured there's a problem in the industry with so many tools proliferating in the environment that these different teams are using, IT and security teams, that it's only creating more complexity, right? Each has their own data silos, each has a different visibility of the IT environment, and that makes, it's like they're talking different languages, and it makes the coordination and collaboration harder, and it takes longer to fix things and remediate things. What Tanium was purpose-built to be a converged endpoint management platform, which is let's take these common use cases and needs of both IT and security teams and create a unified platform that allows them at scale with speed and accuracy to get visibility, control, and remediation of all endpoints in the environment. We've been super successful in doing that. We have the world's largest and the most security conscious organizations using Tanium today. Well, the next step of the journey is really what we've been talking about. AI is here, real-time data is here, which is so fundamental and foundational. Let's go back to that self-driving car. It needs to know the current state of the environment. Its sensors needs to know what cars are around me before making a change. And that's what Tanium, because of its unique patented endpoint architecture and the ability to know what's going on in the endpoints, we can safely, for the security teams, coming back to your question, allow them to understand when there is a new emerging vulnerability and where it's impacting in the environment, and what is going to be the success rate of me making that change to remediate it, right? And the ability to do that kind of thing with the platform is effectively where we have been delivering or taking the platform, right? We've already started delivering capabilities on the autonomous front. The platform today has a automation and orchestration engine that can allow customers to create any number of playbooks that's suited to their environment and to their policies, and be able to take action, any action that Tanium supports, right from, the boring stuff like we were talking about dishes and how maybe one day we'll have AI equipment do a lot of the boring, mundane, but yet important stuff right in the households.
Yeah.
That's what these systems can do. Things that we need to do, patching, configuration management, compliance, right? As emerging issues and vulnerabilities come out, be able to quickly understand what it is, where it's impacting or impacts my environment, and what can I do about it, and making those remediation steps. Those are the kind of things we can deliver for the security teams in collaboration with the IT teams. And yet, here's another important component. Autonomous functions will only be successful and earn the trust if there is full oversight and governance. And that's what we are building within our platform. the customer and the operator always is in full control. You can customize and control every aspect of the automation. You can see its progress, its tracking, right? And at any point, you can take manual control. You can mix automated with manual steps, and your change management process, whether you're using a dedicated system like ServiceNow, with whom we partner very closely, we have very seamless workflows.
Okay.
If you need change management approval and record keeping and like maintaining a single system of record within ServiceNow, Tanium does that seamlessly, right? With Microsoft, which is another close partner of ours, we won the Partner Innovation Award of the Year for this year.
I thought you did it twice.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is 2 years in a row. We
Okay.
won award last year. We won actually this most coveted award this year, and we got recognized in the final 3 in other 2 categories as well
Awesome.
for the impact we are having with our joint solutions for our customers. And talking back about AI, Microsoft has this really cool Copilot capability, and they have Copilot for security operations teams, that really helps them very quickly investigate incidents and apply remediations. And we have Tanium live real-time data and skills fully baked into security, into that Copilot for security. And that makes the job of the security operations operator significantly easier. They can now quickly use that Tanium skill within Copilot window and the Gen AI skills to say, hey, where in an environment, is there this zero-day vulnerability? Boom. Tanium queries within a few seconds, they have visibility on, hey, here are the 4 endpoints. And then they can take targeted action just on those endpoints that are impacted without disrupting any other parts of your IT environment. That's
beautiful.
Beautiful.
It
right?
is.
And that gives that resiliency and confidence for the customers, that magic of bringing AI with real-time, data and awareness of your environment, which starts with visibility. But that's where, we are continuing to roll out innovations.
So do you feel that that is one of the key elements then that helps convince the non-security related leadership members or C-suite people to go, oh yes, Tanium is actually providing extreme help right now?
Absolutely. And that's what we have seen, even in the light of this incident. We have been very steadfast, resilient, and supporting of our customers in the fallout of the outages. To really help them get back, right, and get back to a healthy status, right, and that's effectively what the platform will continue to sort of do.
Fantastic. Vivek, thank you so much for being with us today.
Well, excellent. Well, thank you so much for having me. This was great talking about, just real-time systems and AI and where, what we are doing as Tanium, but more importantly, how the industry is going to grow and evolve and come out stronger from all of this. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely, because this is, I think, a pivotal moment in learning and escalation in all cybersecurity operations, with seeing what CrowdStrike did and being able to bring in AI on automation and effective tools is, to me, it just ramps up what will happen in coming decades, and that is very exciting.
Yes, looking forward to it.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
So for the rest of the live stream, or if you're catching this afterwards, please head over on to securityweekly.com/Black Hat to find all of the Black Hat coverage by Cyber Risk Alliance. And for more information about Tanium, please visit www.tanium.com. Also, you can check securityweekly.com/Tanium, TANIUM,
yes.
BH for more information. Thank you again.
All right. Thank you.